In the financial world, the loudest warnings are the ones that are never spoken. It's not the manic yelling of a TV personality, predicting the 10th of the last 2 market crashes. It's not the soothing, empty reassurances of a politician, promising that the economy is strong and the future is bright. The real warnings, the ones that matter, are silent. They are the quiet, deliberate actions of the people who know where the bodies are buried, the insiders, the smart money, the big banks. And right now, they are quietly preparing for something big, something they see coming over the horizon, a storm gathering in the distance. A crisis they expect to hit around 2026. How do we know? Because they are leaving a trail of breadcrumbs. A series of seemingly boring, technical moves that, when you put them together, paint a terrifying picture. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is evidence, hard evidence, pulled from their own reports and the data they are forced to publish. And today, we follow that trail. Evidence number 1. The tightening of lending standards. Have you tried to get a loan recently? A mortgage? A car loan? A business loan? It's getting harder. A lot harder. Banks are raising their credit score requirements. They are demanding larger down payments. They are scrutinizing income and assets like never before. Why? Because they are reducing their risk. They are pulling back from the riskiest borrowers. They are preparing for a wave of defaults. They know that when the economy turns, the people with the lowest credit scores, the small businesses with the tightest margins, are the first to go under. And the banks don't want to be left holding the bag. This isn't just a feeling. The Fed's own data, from the Senior Loan Officer Opinion Survey, shows that lending standards are tightening at the fastest rate since the eve of the 2008 financial crisis. For commercial and industrial loans, the net percentage of domestic banks tightening standards has been positive for 8 consecutive quarters. That means for 2 straight years, it has gotten progressively harder for businesses to get the capital they need to grow and hire. The banks are turning off the credit spigot. They are battening down the hatches. They are preparing for a storm. Evidence number 2. The hoarding of cash. Banks make money by lending money. A bank that is not lending is a bank that is not making money. So why are the biggest banks in the world sitting on trillions of dollars in cash? JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they are all holding near record levels of cash and cash equivalents. They are not lending it out. They are not investing it. They are hoarding it. Why? Because in a crisis, cash is king. Cash is the only thing that matters. When the financial system freezes, when credit markets seize up, when everyone is selling and no one is buying, the only thing that can save you is a massive pile of cash. The banks know this. They learned their lesson in 2008. And they are not going to make the same mistake twice. They are building a fortress of liquidity, a war chest, to survive the coming crisis. Evidence number 3. The offloading of risky assets. For the past decade, in an environment of 0% interest rates, banks have been on a debt binge. They have been loading up on risky assets like commercial real estate loans, leveraged loans, and subprime auto loans. These are the assets that generate high returns in good times, but they are also the assets that blow up in bad times. And right now, banks are quietly selling them off. They are packaging them up into complex securities and selling them to pension funds, insurance companies, and other unsuspecting investors. They are getting the poison off their books before it's too late. This is exactly what they did in 2007, just before the housing market collapsed. They sold off their subprime mortgage-backed securities to the dumb money. And now they are doing it again. They are cleaning up their balance sheets. They are preparing for a wave of losses. Evidence number 4. The changes in the derivatives market. This is the most technical but also the most important piece of evidence. The derivatives market is a multi-trillion-dollar casino where banks make bets on the future direction of interest rates, currencies, and other financial assets. It's a dark, opaque market that is almost completely unregulated. And right now, there are massive, unusual positions being taken in the derivatives market that point to a major event in 2026. Specifically, there is a huge demand for contracts that will pay off if there is a major spike in credit defaults in the next 2 years. Someone is making a very big bet that a lot of people are about to go broke, And the only people with enough money and information to make those kinds of bets are the big banks. They are not just preparing for a crisis, they are betting on it. So what does this all mean for you? It means that the people who have the most to lose, the people who have the most information, are all preparing for a major financial crisis in the next 18 to 24 months. They are not telling you this. They are not warning you. They are just quietly getting ready. And if you are not paying attention, you are going to be the one left holding the bag. You are going to be the one who loses your job, your savings, your house. Because in the financial world, there are two kinds of people, the insiders and the outsiders. The insiders know what's coming, and they use that information to protect themselves and profit from the chaos. The outsiders are the ones who are left to pick up the pieces. The question is, which one are you? Sound right? Let's go deeper on each of these points because the details are where the real story is. The tightening of lending standards isn't just a matter of banks being a little more cautious. It's a sea change. For years, banks were falling over themselves to lend money. They were offering teaser rates, no-doc loans, and all sorts of exotic products to entice borrowers. Now, it's the opposite. They are actively looking for reasons to say no. They are scrutinizing every line of your tax return, every deposit in your bank account. They are using sophisticated algorithms to assess your risk, and those algorithms are being programmed to be more and more conservative. This is a clear signal that the banks see a recession on the horizon. They are preparing for a world where unemployment is higher, incomes are lower, and the risk of default is much, much greater. And the hoarding of cash. It's not just a matter of holding a little extra in reserve. The largest US banks have increased their cash holdings by over 50% since 2020. That's trillions of dollars that are not being lent out to businesses, not being used to finance new projects, not being put to work in the economy. That's money that is being held in reserve for a rainy day. And the banks are not just expecting a drizzle, they are expecting a hurricane. They are building a financial ark, and they are preparing to close the doors. The offloading of risky assets is perhaps the most cynical part of this whole story. The banks created these assets. They profited from them for years. And now that they see the writing on the wall, they are dumping them on the unsuspecting public. They are selling them to pension funds that manage the retirement savings of teachers, firefighters, and police officers. They are selling them to insurance companies that are supposed to be the bedrock of financial stability. They are selling them to individual investors who are desperate for a decent return in a zero-interest rate world. It's a classic bait and switch. The banks get the profits, and the public gets the losses. It's a story as old as Wall Street itself. And the derivatives market? That's the smoking gun. The derivatives market is where the smart money goes to make its bets. And right now, the smart money is betting on a crash. They are buying credit default swaps, which are essentially insurance policies against a default. They are buying put options, which are bets that the stock market will go down. They are selling call options, which are bets that the stock market will not go up. The volume of these bearish bets has exploded in recent months. It's a clear signal that the insiders, the people who have the most information and the most to lose, are positioning themselves for a major downturn. So what is the trigger for this 2026 crisis? It could be any number of things. A collapse in the commercial real estate market, which is already on life support, a sovereign debt crisis in Europe or Japan, a geopolitical conflict with China or Russia. Or it could be something that no one sees coming. The financial system is so complex, so interconnected and so leveraged that a small fire in one corner of the market can quickly spread and become a global inferno. But the trigger doesn't really matter. What matters is that the system is vulnerable. It's a house of cards, built on a foundation of debt and speculation, and the banks, the architects of this system, are quietly heading for the exits. They are not going to warn you. They are not going to sound the alarm. They are just going to slip out the back door and leave you to face the music. So what can you do? You can do what the banks are doing. You can reduce your risk. You can get out of debt. You can build up your cash reserves. You can diversify your assets. You can invest in things that are real, things that have intrinsic value, things that can't be printed or devalued by the government. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, real estate, productive businesses. These are the lifeboats in the coming storm, and the time to get into them is now, before the storm hits. before the music stops, before the house of cards comes crashing down. The banks are preparing for a crisis. The question is, are you? Too right. Let's put some more meat on these bones. The commercial real estate market is a ticking time bomb. For years, developers and investors have been building office towers, shopping malls, and apartment buildings, all financed with cheap debt. But the world has changed. The rise of remote work has left office buildings half empty. The rise of e-commerce has decimated the retail sector, and the affordability crisis has made it impossible for many people to pay the high rents that are needed to make these projects profitable. The result is a wave of defaults that is just beginning to crest. The banks are exposed to the tune of trillions of dollars, and they know it. That's why they are desperately trying to sell off these loans before the true scale of the losses becomes apparent. And it's not just commercial real estate. The auto loan market is also showing signs of serious stress. During the pandemic, with interest rates at zero, car companies and lenders were handing out loans like candy. People were buying cars they couldn't afford, at inflated prices, with long loan terms. Now, with interest rates rising and the economy slowing, many of those borrowers are starting to default. The repossession lots are filling up, and the banks are facing another wave of losses. This is the classic pattern of a financial crisis. A period of easy money leads to a boom in asset prices and a surge in risky lending. Then, when the easy money spigot is turned off, the bubble pops, the defaults spike, and the losses come home to roost. We saw it in 2000 with the dot-com bubble. We saw it in 2008 with the subprime mortgage crisis, and we are about to see it again in 2026 with the everything bubble. But this time it's different. This time the bubble is bigger, the debt is larger, and the global economy is more fragile. And this time the Federal Reserve doesn't have the same tools to fight the fire. In 2008, the Fed was able to cut interest rates from 5% to zero. Today, interest rates are already near zero. In 2008, the Fed was able to launch a massive program of quantitative easing, printing trillions of dollars to buy up toxic assets. Today, the Fed's balance sheet is already bloated from the last crisis, and the political will for another massive bailout is gone. This is the trap that the central banks have set for themselves. They have created a system that is dependent on a constant flow of cheap money, a system that cannot withstand higher interest rates, a system that is destined to collapse under the weight of its own contradictions. And the big banks, the ultimate insiders, can see this as clear as day. They know that the party is over. They know that the music is about to stop. And they are quietly, methodically, and ruthlessly positioning themselves to be the last ones standing. They are not your friends. They are not your partners. They are not on your side. They are playing a game of financial survival, a game where there are winners and losers, a game where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, a game where the insiders profit from the chaos and the outsiders are left to pick up the pieces. The evidence is clear. The writing is on the wall. The crisis is coming. The only question is, will you be ready?